I like to start with a clean area. I do think of it as minor invasive surgery for your laptop. So it's dust-free, and I'm going to just start with a soft surface to place the laptop down. I've got just a basic set of mini screwdrivers. Figure amongst those I should have the one I need. I also have a basic set of Torx. Here goes my laptop onto its back. Here are the screws. I'm going to find the one that fits the best. You definitely want good contact. That has a really good fit. And you want to give a little bit of downward pressure because you don't want to strip the screws. There's our first screw. You can see they're really tiny. And I'm just going to work my way around. Now these ones are significantly longer than the last one, so I'm going to go ahead and separate those out. Now we're going to pry the top off. This is probably where the pry bar helps. There we go, a little bit of dust in there. It's a good opportunity to clean her out. Here's our hard drive. Here are our RAM chips. And I'm just going to turn it around because it'll be easier to access, which is going to mess me up when I'm putting my screws back in. Okay, we're going to go ahead and remove the hard drive first. And the first thing we'll need to do is remove the retaining bar. I've already loosened the screws. They're Phillips head screws. And this retaining bar comes right out. I'm going to set it in a position where I can easily put it back in the same direction. And that will allow us access to the hard drive. We simply pull on the plastic tab gently. We want to discharge any electricity at this point. Our nice, beautiful hard drive. Pull it out gently because it is, let's see if I can show you, it is attached by a ribbon connection here, and you don't want to put tension on that. So you want to give it a little slack, and you're going to work this off straight back, gently. You don't want to bend the pins. Sort of firm but gentle. And look at that, we've got our same little 45-degree connections. So it's looking good to be a nice compatible drive. Set that aside. Here's our anti-static bag. We're going to slide the new hard drive out. Again, discharge. Put it in just like it only fits one direction. It can't fit in this way, so I'm going to flip it over. So this didn't come with the feet, so I'm going to go ahead and steal that from my old hard drive. And I did take the extra time to get the right tool because nothing will kill the project faster than trying to work with an ill-fitting tool and stripping those heads. And these just serve as little anchors for the hard drive to sit in here. Okay, our last screw is in. I went ahead and stole my plastic tab from the old hard drive. Little free upgrade there. Set the feet in the holes and it should fall right into place. We're gonna replace our retaining bracket. Back to the Phillips head. Make sure there's no play in that. Looks good. Our hard drive's in, we're good to go. Now we're going to move on to the memory. Alright, I pulled back the retaining arms. You can see the RAM chip lifted out. I didn't even need it, but I pulled out a bamboo skewer in case I needed something to help me pull it up. And then I'm going to pull straight back and out from there. There's our nice little RAM chip. Just note the orientation. The second one is stacked right underneath it. We're going to pull these arms out. Combination of pulling the arms back and working the chip out. Set it free. There's our second chip. Now those are actually sellable. You're not going to get rich on those, but you get a little bit back on what you paid for your new chips. Make sure you don't get your old chips and your new chips mixed up. can only go in one way. They're going to go in the way they came out. Make sure you get good contact. I'm sure technicians have some secret to do this with more grace. Here's our second chip. In and then down, and that looks good. I believe we are looking at a upgraded laptop. So now we're going to work backwards, putting our cover back on, and just before I confuse myself, I'm going to rotate it back to where I originally had it. Start the way I started with my Phillips head. It was the same size Phillips head for the whole job, which is a big improvement on the last time I did this upgrade on my last laptop. It was over 24 screws. It was a lot of tricky areas I had to get to access the RAM and the hard drive. So I really commend Apple for considering the fact that people are trying to do some of this kind of hardware maintenance themselves. Alright, this is a little nervous to do live, but we're going to try the power. My favorite sound in the world. So while this starts up, let's talk about the old hard drive. If you are going to get rid of it, say you're past your warranty period and you'd rather have the cash in hand, one thing to think about is the sensitive data on here. You might not think there's any sensitive data, but there's lots of things people can access, so anything, the best measure is to just be on the safe side. Taking a magnet to it is not going to erase it. I already looked that up. The best option is taking a hammer to it if you're really worried about Big Brother, but there are a lot of applications that will function to erase it if you want to take the time, and all you'd have to do is work backwards with your SATA IDE adapter, my new favorite gadget. Hook it back up, it'll pop back up there, and you'll have access to it to do a good reinitializing of this drive to wipe it out. I like to hang on to it for a while just to make sure my new system's running smoothly and I don't have to worry about retrieving any old data. But I do have Time Machine working, so hopefully that'll make a smooth transition too. We'll test that out and see if we have any problems there. And there it is, my new 500 gigabyte hard drive. Looks like it's working, and we're going to test out the RAM upgrade by going to the Apple in the upper left hand corner and working down to About This Mac and hitting More Info. Oh, right there we can see the memory is listed as 4 gigabytes of DDR3. Now I'll probably spend the rest of the night opening every program and working with this video just to see if I can try to trip up my new machine. Thank you for joining me today. I really enjoyed sharing this information with you. I hope you found some of it useful and helpful, and good luck with your own upgrade and let me know how it goes.